So far, I have shared various thoughts on why astrology is beyond what appears to the senses or what is written in the text. And to some extent, it is also underlined that the aim really is to connect with the life and life philosophy itself, which is actually beyond the scope of astrology and astrology literature. But astrology is one of the windows to that, to make that connection. And I hope that this makes it clear that it is life that we need to really be more concerned about, because that is where we can get solutions to help people. Astrology text will give us certain things, but we need to use that to go beyond and connect to the very life and life philosophy, because that's the only thing that can help others. Just having information is not going to help. This database is not going to help. How much ever volumes of it we may read and retain, it is not going to help unless we can use intuition and wisdom to use that information and database as just a lever, nothing else, but use that wisdom to connect to the essence of life and life philosophy and come up with the solution that's most appropriate for the person who's having problem. So I am continuing today on uh, the nature of this true knowledge, and you can be assured I'm not going to discuss these things in the course. This is to ensure that the right kind of frame of mind and the foundation is set up for the course. Earlier, I had mentioned that I will take up 4 verses on the true knowledge. Actually, I'm adding one more today, so it's going to be 5. The verse is Abhayam Sarvabhutanam Jnanamahurmanishinah Nijanande Spruha Nanye Vairagyasya Avadhirmataha. Abhayam Sarvabhutanam Jnanamahurmanishinah. Manishinah are the wise people. Jnanam Ahuhu. The wise people, Ahuhu is described. The wise people describe Jnanam or the true knowledge. What do they describe? It says Abhayam, fearlessness, Sarvabhutanam, towards all living beings or all beings. It's funny. It's something you might not have expected. So this says the fearlessness towards all beings is the true knowledge. I mean, this is the state of self-realization, because that's when you don't see any difference between you and any living being, leave alone humans, any living being. You don't see any difference. That's when you have no fear. And that's exactly what this is about. Second line is Nijanande, Nija Anande, the bliss of the self, Spruha, yearning. So, yearning for the bliss of the self. This, once you realize the self is the bliss, yearning for it. Na anye, and nothing else. Vairagyasya, of Vairagya. Remember Vairagya Bhava, I mentioned about it in the attitudes for learning. Vairagyasya avadhihi, limit, mataha is considered. So, this yearning for the bliss of the self and nothing else is the limit of Vairagya, the dispassion. That's something I had underlined even the previous audio. Vairagya is such a big concept, and to expand on that, there are actually four qualifications that are said to be the essential ones for an ideal aspirant for the self knowledge or the true knowledge. And they are: number one is discriminative power or discrimination, which is called viveka. Second is the dispassion, the vairagya. Third is the shat sampati, it's called discipline. And this is for bringing calmness, calmness in mind and calmness in the heart. And if you remember, I had mentioned one of the single phrase on true knowledge, which was about true knowledge being the quietening of the senses. Yat jnanam prashamakaram tad indriyanam. That's what I had mentioned. And so the viveka is about the intellect and discriminative power, discrimination. Vairagya is dispassion. Shat sampati means six things that we do as disciplinary practices or disciplines. Namely, it's sama. Sama is controlling the mind. Dhamma is controlling the sense organs, both of perception and the action. Then we have uparama. It's called withdrawing from the extrovertedness. Typically, extrovertedness meaning here trying to go outwards. For example, publishing oneself into social media and trying to project oneself, or having this delusions of grandeur of being a celebrity and all that. Many people have that. So that is exactly what it means here, of being extrovertedness or going outward, and that needs a discipline to withdraw from that. Then we have shraddha or faith. Then titiksha, forbearance, endurance. So that makes the shat sampati. Then there is a fourth one, which is the yearning for a state of liberation or the state of self realization. And that is called mumukshutvam. Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampati, Mumukshutvam. These are the prerequisites or qualifications. Okay. And since they are qualifications, they are just tools or implements. There is something more that's needed for self-realization, and that's a separate thing. That's comes under a different kind of text, which is called Atma Bodha by Adi Shankaracharya. So today's focus was on the fearlessness and also the underlining on the importance of dispassion. These are also the aspects or nature of this true knowledge that help get the attainment of true knowledge. And we have also seen, apart from Vairagya, we have three more things that are considered as qualifications to attain that true knowledge or knowledge of the self or that state of liberation. And astrology as a text is actually considered as one of the, uh, you can say, mediums towards this larger aims of attaining that true knowledge. Okay, this is one of those uh, bodies of knowledge, and this is more related to that viveka part or intellect or awareness. So if you remember that sequence of the uh, attitudes for learning, first we had dharma bhava, right? Doing things right. Then the second was about awareness, which was the jnana bhava. That is where this astrological things will fit in. And after that comes the vairagya bhava, and then comes the aishwarya bhava. So that is that it's in that lower stage, but an essential one. Then next week I'm going to cover some more things um, in continuation. So it is going to be about how pure knowledge is considered as a witness of the thoughts. Then later it will be about how knowledge and experiences are connected, and then how the non-apprehension and misapprehension are related to that. Okay. And I think before we begin in January, this prelude would be done, and you'll have a good perspective in your mind to be ready for the course. Bye.